I talk about income ETFs on most of my different videos, but today we're going to be talking about 5 of my top ETFs in my own personal portfolio. Now, not every one of these is going to be income ETFs because income ETFs have been something that's been grown in my portfolio, but I've had a portfolio since about 2016, and so some of these ETFs have been growing since then, and they've become pretty large. Now, I do have one income ETF in my top 5, but we'll talk about that very soon. We're going to be ranking these ETFs from the smallest all the way to the largest, and we're going to be talking about the strategy. We're going to be talking about some of the top holdings. We're going to be talking about why they're so high on the list, and seeing if there is a bonus one to add to this top 5. All right, let's get to it. Let's get down to it. Let's dive into 5 of my top ETFs in my portfolio. All right. This video is purely educational content. It should not be considered personal finance advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and I don't know your financial situation, risk tolerance, or even investment goals. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and always do your own research and consider consulting with a qualified financial professional before making any investment. All right, let's get on to the video. Hey guys, my name is Steve and I run the Frugal Expat website where we try to help people to save more and invest better. And today I'm reviewing my top 5 ETFs in my portfolio. Now, I do talk about lots of ETFs, and that's great because I love ETFs. It's an easy way to get exposure to a lot of different companies, and when one company may fall out, another company gets replaced, and so that's good news. Now, I do have a lot of ETFs that track some indexes, and those are some of my favorites. There are some ETFs like DRAM that has about maybe 10 or 11 memory different companies. There's also, I got a space ETF, I got income ETFs, I even got some international ETFs that could be with some dividends. But today we're talking about those 5. Now, I do also have some individual stocks, and those individual stocks do make up a portion of my portfolio, but we won't be talking about that today. Let's dive into those 5 ETFs so then you guys can get a little bit of some knowledge about what's going into my portfolio. All right, let's get to it. Our first ETF is going to be QQQM, which is the Invesco Nasdaq 100 ETF. Now, this is like the QQQ tiny version because if you look at QQQ, it's got about a share price of around $715 at time of this video recording, while QQQM is much smaller. It's in that 250, almost 300 range. And so we have a cheaper version with also a cheaper expense ratio, but you get a part of the Qs. Now, I say it's the smallest ETF by top 5, and so I got a lot of ETFs. But with QQQM, I'm getting exposure to the Nasdaq 100. I'm getting the top 100 companies on the Nasdaq exchange, which include a couple of different tech giants, also includes Costco, and it also does not include financials, because the Nasdaq 100 is the top 100 non-financial companies on the Nasdaq exchange. Now, with this ETF, you're getting some pretty good metrics. Now, if we were to take a look at the returns of QQQM, we're going to see that it's doing about 21.93% over the last 10 years. So it's been doing pretty good in growth for those last 10 years. Now, expense ratio wise, it's 0.15%, meaning it costs about $15 for every $10,000. So it's much cheaper than the regular QQQ, which is 0.18%. And so this is a good little one that I can get exposure to tech, growth, and it's a great ETF to add to my portfolio. And so I added it a couple years ago and continued to buy into it. Now, it is not in my top 3 or top 1, but those are going to be some other ones that you may find a little bit familiar. Let's go on to our next ETF. Our next ETF is XQQI, which is NEO's boosted Nasdaq 100 high income ETF. Now, this ETF is very new. It is from February, and it's been adding to my portfolio. Now, one day I was trying to add just dollars amounts. I accidentally added a little bit more shares, and so it has reached all the way up into the top 4. Now, this ETF is an income ETF. It is a leveraged fund. And so with this leverage of this ETF, it's leveraged on top of QQQI. And so for those that are familiar with QQQI, you're getting about a 14% yield with it. It's from NEOS, it tracks the Nasdaq 100 and does cover calls. XQQI is the leveraged version of that. It's going to get 150% notional exposure to the Nasdaq 100. It's going to use covered calls. It's going to create a synthetic call on top of that, giving you that extra 50% exposure and a little bit extra leverage and yield. Now the yield is sitting around that 20-21%, which is pretty good, and it's supposed to be, when the Nasdaq does go up, it's supposed to go up a much higher than QQQI. And so I'm looking at it for some pretty good yield, some pretty good price appreciation, and growth as well. And so when the market is flying high, this is a great one. Now if the market is flying low and going downturns, well, it's going to go downturn more than the QQQI. But this ETF is going to be pretty good for my portfolio, creating some income later on in life. Now, it does have an expense ratio of 0.98%, meaning it costs $98 for every $10,000 invested. It may be the highest on this list because most of the others are very low in expense ratios, but it's giving me some good yield. It's going to give me some good exposure to the covered call markets with great fund managers managing this, and it's a great one that I've added to my portfolio and accidentally added too much, but now it's doing a good thing for me. All right, let's get on to our next ETF. Our next ETF is VXUH, which is the Vanguard Total International Market ETF. Now this ETF is the international version of like a VTI. It holds all of the international companies all in one ETF. That could be anywhere between 7,000 to 8,000 companies, depending on when you watch this video and how the market is turning. One of the top companies right now in VXUS is Taiwan Semiconductors. I love Taiwan Semiconductors. I used to live in Taiwan. I love that it is one of the big industries and one of the big companies that's producing most of the chips in the world. And so it's a great one to have in this portfolio. Now the expense ratio of VXUS is about 0.05%, meaning it costs about $5 for every $10,000 invested, which means more money is working for you. I started investing this when I thought like a good Boggleheads 3-fund portfolio was a pretty good one, with a VTI, with a BND, and a VXUS. I no longer have BND, I still have VTI, but VXUS was one I was continuing to invest in. And in 2025, when the market soared, it went up about 30% in the international markets, and it's still doing pretty good today. And it's sitting in my top 3 of my ETFs in this portfolio. One of the reasons this has been doing pretty well is because of chips. And so this has got some Samsung in it. It's got some ASML. It's got Taiwan Semiconductor, SK Hynix. It's got a bunch of those chip companies helping to prop this up for those that are owning some international stocks. Now, SK Hynix is not in the US market, but you can also get some Taiwan Semiconductors on the US market. But this is a great way where I can give some diversification within my portfolio. Got some internationals, and I've got some other US based ETFs. And so this is a great one to diversify and give me exposure to companies I may not be able to get while I'm investing in the US. Now the 10-year return is about 10.24%, so it's been averaging around 10% for the last 10 years. And a lot of years it's been quite down, closer to that 8%, but in 2025 and 2026 it's done pretty well. And so that's good news for you. So if you're looking to have maybe some international diversification, VXUS could be a good one. There's some much better ones, like I like an IDMO, that momentum factor one. I also like a VYMI, that's a pretty good one. And there's some plenty of others. So take a look at some internationals, add them to your portfolio if you want some diversification. All right, let's get on to our next ETF. Hey guys, if you really like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. One place I am looking up a lot of information on my videos, charts, different things, is stockanalysis.com. Stockanalysis.com has a great pro plan where it allows you to see different comparings of different ETFs. You can see total returns, you can see price returns, you can see dividends, and all sorts of information within this app. Now, I'm gonna leave a link in my description and my pinned comments so you guys can take a look at it. You can use the promo code TFE in order to get a discount. It is a great place to look at different ways of comparing different ETFs, different stocks, and even getting some great information in order to make a better decision when you're investing. All right, guys, let's jump back to the video. Our next ETF is the Vanguard Information Technology ETF. Now this ETF holds about 300 different companies, but as tech and semiconductors have gone up a little bit higher, now with VGT, it used to cost around maybe $600-700, maybe $400. I was buying it when it was like $400 or $500, but they did a split of it, making it a little bit cheaper so more people can dive in. So sitting at around 115 to 120, just depending on when you watch this video. Now this is a great one to get not only some large caps, but you can also get some mid and small cap companies within this portfolio. Now with this portfolio, you're going to get some of the top companies like Nvidia, you're going to get Microsoft, Apple, you're going to also get AMD, Micron, Lam Research, Intel, and Oracle, all part of the top 10 of this ETF. Now there's going to be some other ones coming up from the ranks. So you're going to be able to have some good companies come in and some companies go out. At one point in time, VGT had Palantir in the top 10. Palantir has fallen off a little bit, but some others have come up like Micron. And so you're getting a good portion of some great technology companies within this ETF. Now, I've been buying VGT since 2020, since the COVID crash, because I thought I needed or wanted some more technology within my portfolio. And this helped me to get some of that exposure. Now, the last 10 years, it's averaged about 25.25%, and that's a pretty good annual average if you're asking me. I mean, I would take that as a portfolio. And if you were taking VGT over QQQ, VGT has beaten QQQ in the last 5 to 6 years. And so that's amazing news that every year it's doing much better than QQQ. So that's why I added a little bit of VGT to my portfolio. I keep trying to add more and more shares. Now with a cheaper price, it's much easier to add more shares and allow it to kind of continue to appreciate and build upon my portfolio. As you notice, I've got a lot of tech in my portfolio, and that's because I believed in tech, and tech has soared in the last 1 to 2 years, and so that's why all of these positions had propped up. And the cool thing is with VGT, it's also got a cheap expense ratio. They're sitting at about a 0.09%, meaning it costs about $9 for every $10,000 invested. So if you're looking for an ETF that's got great tech, cheap expense ratio, and it's been doing pretty well over the last 10, 15, 20 years, VGT could be that ETF for you. All right, let's get on to our last ETF. Our last ETF on this list is VTI, which is the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund ETF. Now, this ETF has been one I've been buying and holding since like 2016, so 10 years, and it's been doing good for about 10 years. Now, it's got a rock bottom expense ratio of 0.03%, meaning it costs $3 for every $10,000 invested. It's got the entire US stock market, so it's about 3,500 to almost 4,000 different stocks. You're going to get a good portion of that being in the S&P 500, which makes up about 85 to 87% of the portfolio. And so you're getting a good portion of the top 500 companies. You're also getting mid caps and a little bit of some small caps, so it's going to be a little bit diverse, and it's also done by all market caps. So the bigger companies are going to be winning, but you may not like that, but you could. And this is a great one to kind of add some stability, some growth, and it's been one of my winners for the long term. Now, it doesn't have the sexy numbers of a QQQM or VGT or even an SMH, but it's got some pretty good numbers that beat out VXUS. For the last 10 years, it has averaged about 15.12%, meaning that, I mean, it's beating out some of those historics of the S&P 500, which has been like that 10 or 11%, but it's doing about 15%. So that's good news. So, I mean, investing in it for about 10 years, and so that 15% continues to compound over time. Now, it is my largest position in my portfolio, and in about 10, 15 years, or maybe even sooner, it's gonna hit $1 million. And so that's good news. I don't even have to touch it. I don't have any money, and at some point it's gonna hit those big numbers. And so that's good news for me and my family, that I continue to invest, but putting money into this early on and allowing the compounding to happen, allowed it to blossom and bloom, and allow my portfolio to grow faster than I ever thought it could be. Now, that's the cool thing about investing. If you just start investing into a few ETFs at a time, you can see that compounding happen. Now with VTI is particularly special because a lot of people love it. Like Bogle has talked about it. J.L. Collins, who wrote The Simple Path to Wealth, talked about VTSAX, which is the mutual fund version of VTI. And so I got wrapped in, and I liked VTI, and I continued to put money into it. Now I just let all the dividends reinvest, and I continue to let it just compound and snowball over time. Now, I just talked about my top 5 ETFs in my portfolio. I do have one bonus one, so that bonus one is going to be SMH. Now, the reason I say bonus is because it's number 6 on my list, and it's continued to grow and rise as technology and semiconductors continue to rise as well. And to put some of those numbers into perspective, over the last 10 years, SMH has averaged around 37.5%. And that is great news if you're looking for maybe an ETF to grow and grow and grow. There's some great semiconductor ETFs out there. I made a video right up here. You guys can check that out. And the cool thing is, as we continue to learn more and as chips are being built, this could be a great position in your portfolio. Now with SMH, you're getting about 25 to 26 different semiconductor companies. You're getting NVIDIA, you're getting AMD, Taiwan Semiconductors, you're getting ASML, you're also getting some Micron. And so these companies are part of this ETF and it's allowing to grow. Now, it's also got an expense ratio of 0.35%, meaning it costs about $35 for every $10,000 invested. And with this ETF, it's more of a play on hoping and continuing to hope that semiconductors do dominate the markets. I mean, SMH right now is almost up 70% in 2026 alone. So this has been a great position that I've added to my portfolio, and I continue to add pieces into this one, continue to add pieces into VGT, QQQM, and adding some pieces to some other income ETFs like an XQQI. I'm adding more to QQQI, adding more to OVL, and some other pieces to my portfolio. And so this is just showing you guys what I'm holding, which are the biggest 5 ETFs in my portfolio, and they're not just income. They're mostly, a lot of them are growth, and the growth has really skyrocketed in the last couple years. And so you guys can see that technology and growth has really boosted my portfolio. Maybe I'll make a video on some of the stocks I own because some of those have gone crazy. Some of them, maybe not so much. But that really happens with your portfolio. You invest for the future, growth is going to happen. Income is going to be a great stability where I'm going to need it at some point. And so this is all part of my portfolio. All right, guys. That's a little bit about that. Let me know in the comments. What are some ETFs that are in your top 5? Is it just income or do you have a lot of growth? Let me know in the comments. And make sure to check out this video up here of my income portfolio. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.